Hi, I'm Morse, the founder of Core Elements Training. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate PNF stretching or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation for the hamstrings muscle group at the back of the leg. So this is a great way to help to increase flexibility and re-educate muscle memory at the end of your sports massage or your sports therapy treatment. So when you're stretching at the end of the treatment, you can apply these techniques whilst your client is still on the couch. Okay, so for the hamstrings, we know the hamstrings are at the back of the leg and they attach to the ischium at the bottom of the pelvis and they cross the back of the knee. So to make sure that we're stretching all of the muscle group, we can do a straight leg stretch here. So what we're going to do is lift the leg off the couch. Okay, and we're testing for the flexibility in the hamstrings. So initially for the PNF stretching, we're feeling for that first biting point. So it doesn't necessarily need to be where the client feels a strong stretch. It's as soon as you're starting to feel the resistance in the muscle. So that's referred to as that biting point. So for example, if we felt the resistance or the biting point here, what we would do is we would hold this for initial 15 seconds. Now the femur bone is the heaviest bone in the body, and also surrounding that we've got really large muscle groups such as the quadriceps at the front of the leg, hamstrings at the back of the leg. So we don't want to stand here holding their leg up, especially if you're working on really big rugby players, American footballers, etc. So we want to be able to support the leg if we can. So we take a seat on the couch and we're now supporting the leg on our shoulder. We're holding this for about 15 seconds. Make sure that you're keeping your back up nice and straight as you hold the weight of the leg. Okay, then after about 15 seconds, that initial myotatic stretch reflex will have relaxed. So now this is the stage where the client's going to contract the muscle group. So the client now is going to press their leg down into your shoulder for about 6 to 8 seconds. So that enables the muscle to contract. So Katie, if you'd just like to press your leg down into my shoulder. So it doesn't need to be a maximal contraction. They're not trying to push you over. If they are trying to prove their strength, just get them to reduce that contraction a little bit. So roughly about a 15 to 30% contraction of the muscle group. Then after that 6 to 8 seconds, the client's then going to take a deep breath in. Now, a muscle always relaxes to a deeper extent after it's contracted. So this should have produced, that contraction should have produced a relaxation response in the Golgi tendon organs within the muscle fibers. So now as she breathes out, we're now going to see if we can lift that leg slightly higher. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the weight of my legs with my hands, weight of her leg with my hands here, and I'm just gently lifting that up, but my shoulder's just behind it. Okay, so I can then take the weight back down onto my shoulder. Can you feel a new stretch there, Katie? Yeah. Excellent. So then it's stage 2. We're now going to hold this second stretch for about another 15 seconds. Be careful where you're placing your hands. So you want to make sure that they're keeping that knee straight, but you don't want to be putting your hand over the knee joint. So if you want to support the leg, then just support it just above the knee joint. Hold that again for about another 15 seconds. Then after 15 seconds, the client's then going to contract again by pressing the leg down into your shoulder for another 6 to 8 seconds. So if you just contract that, Katie. Excellent. Then after that 6 to 8 seconds, they're then going to let go of that contraction, so they're relaxing. Sometimes it's useful just to give the muscle a little bit of a wiggle at the back of the leg, just to make sure it has relaxed and they're not still contracting the muscle. Then the client's going to take another deep breath in, and then as she breathes out, we're then going to see if we can increase that stretch slightly further. And if they're coming up, we want ideally about 90 degrees at the hip joint, and then they can relax that leg back down onto your shoulder. And this final contraction, ideally to help with resetting that muscle memory and maintaining this new length in the hamstrings, we ideally want to hold this for about 30 seconds. So the whole time the client's relaxing on the couch there, and you're making sure you're accounting for their discomfort level. So they shouldn't feel pain whilst you're stretching. They might feel quite an intense stretch, but they should still be able to breathe normally throughout. If they're holding their breath, then the stretch has become too intense. Then after that 13 seconds, or 30 seconds I should say, you're then going to lower that leg all the way down. So just to recap those stages then of the PNF stretching principle. So initially we took the leg into a stretch, which is just where they felt the biting point, and we held that for about 15 seconds. From there, the client then resisted against you for about 6 to 8 seconds. After that, they relax and let go of that contraction. And then we took the stretch into a deeper position on the client's outward breath. And then we would repeat that 2 to 3 times, holding that final stretch position for ideally about 30 seconds so that we can help to reset that muscle memory. This is one of the principles that we cover on our Level 4 Sports and Remedial Massage Diploma, which is an accredited qualification. If you'd like to find out about any of our qualifications or CPD short courses, then please visit our website at www.coreelements.uk.com. Thank you.